Makes sense. It's up to you, sir.
Well, okay, we have a quorum, so we can go ahead and call the meeting to order. Carmine hopefully will be joining us shortly, but we go ahead and get started. We have some citizen comments for this afternoon.
Yes, if there are any citizen comments, click raise your hand and we will allow you to speak. Nope. That's been a long meeting.
Oh,
there you go.
Darn. No, really.
we're all sitting here in anticipation.
What have we done to cause anything like that? Yeah.
All right, so hopefully you had a chance to glance at the September minutes. Are there any comments, corrections? Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. That's passed. All right, administrative reports. I can't attend the comprehensive plan meeting coming up a week from today, and
And hopefully returning.
So I'm hoping one of you might be interested in attending at least this first kickoff meeting, sort of where they're getting things organized and so forth. Since I can't do it, I should be able to attend hopefully at all the rest of the meetings, but it's just this one I can't get to as our rep. So if someone would love to.
What time is it at again?
I think that's
6:30. Yep. It's 6:30
in this building.
I'll go. Sorry, I did get that email. I forgot to respond.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Am I the only one online today?
Yeah.
I hate that. Then I'm like this huge person. I gotta hide. That's the punishment. If you dial in remotely, you get like amplified. I hate this. Make the camera blurry and blur myself out. Turn my screen off.
Blur your background. I don't know how to do it though. You have to show me how.
Yeah, you can do the blurry background. I just like the light because it makes it harder to see me.
There we go. It makes you look angelic.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have anything else this evening. So, Scarlett, did you have anything you wanted to share with the board?
I don't think so.
Mindy, you're up. Commission report.
Okay, cool. Laura, did you want to take the parade update or do you want me to give that?
It's up to you. I'm happy to take it.
Okay, you take that one. Here, you go ahead first.
The municipality moved the parade, canceled the parade, and it is now going to be a trunks, tents, and treats in the commissioner's lot. That's the parking lot that's kind of above Martha's Playground there, directly across from the stadium. So all of the groups that had been wanting to participate in the parade will have an opportunity to have a space there to have a tent to hand out candy. Rec is working on getting a stage for performances. Kids can come in their costumes and go from tent area to tent area to get candy. And it's from 10 to noon on the same day on the 29th, Saturday. And it's very busy up there. The high school has a bunch of activities going on. The ice rink has a hockey tournament. And and both fields downstairs are occupied. But there's, that's a huge parking lot in the high school, and then there's other parking in the area that people could park and walk to. We are a walking community, so
it'll make it festive to have all that activity going on.
Yes. So that's that. So
yeah. So change there. And then today the commission hopefully is appointing the interim commissioner for Ward 3. We are fortunate enough to have 3 very qualified candidates. Our chair is one of them. I don't know if I'm taking your thunder, Anne, but and I also wasn't sure if this was just a question, but if Anne is appointed, are you going to serve dual roles for a while?
Okay.
The brief conversation I had with Keith is if she is appointed, she can choose to take a leave of absence if it is only a short period of time.
Yeah, it's only a few months.
Serving, right?
Yeah.
I think he was going to double check that with the solicitor, but since the commission is not appointing any fill-ins for anybody who leaves the board and authority, that position might be able to be held open.
Good.
Yeah. Awesome. So the position's short term, it's only 6 months until the primary election in May. There's a small chance that the county elections will change it and make it a longer term, which would be 1 whole year. But right now, everything that we've heard from the county elections is that it's just until that position, until the election. So approximately June 1st, maybe the position will be done. And then there'll be this is what's confusing that I'm trying to explain to everyone. And just tell everyone as well. For Ward 3 residents, you'll probably see 2 different places on the ballot for the Ward 3 commissioner. One is to fill the remainder of the unexpired term, which is approximately from June 1st, 2023 to July 10th, 2024. And then the second would be as a typical primary race for the 4-year term. And then the winners of the primaries on the Democratic and Republican side would show up in the general election, which is in November, and that the winner of that would serve the 4-year term. Did I explain that in a way that makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Better than the solicitor did. I got his letter and read it and went, I have no idea what this means. I gave it to my husband, and my husband goes, oh, he's a lawyer. They obfuscate. Sorry, but it was so funny, and I'm like, I'm sure I'll figure it out at some point. I'm not going to worry about it.
You'll figure it out as it goes along. Yeah, as everybody goes along, we'll all figure it out. But that's the latest information that we have on that. So big piece there. Other big commission things are the budget will be released to the commission and the public as the manager's recommended budget by November 1st. And then we'll dig into budget season all next month. There's 4 scheduled public sessions that we invite the public to tune into or come in this room in person if you dare for a 3-hour debate. Each of the sessions are usually about 3 hours. So the dates of those are on the website. Or I could pull them up if anybody cares right now. But that's kind of where the sausage is made, where we would decide what gets funded and what doesn't get funded for 2023. There's the recommendations of the manager that we use as a guide. And there's also the capital improvement plan, kind of like a wish list of large capital projects that we use as a guide. But we do 0-line budgeting. So we really just, there's no assumptions that anything's going to get funded. Everything's on the table for discussion. Those are the big updates. Any questions about anything else on commission?
Nope.
Cool.
Okay, thanks. Laura, you have anything else?
I do. Just reminding you that the comp plan website, ascendlebo.com, is up. There was some confusion that there isn't I say new survey. It's new since July. But there may be from time to time surveys and questions and opportunities for participation. So we're asking people to bookmark it, come back. We're constantly pushing out, as you see the sign of it, constantly pushing out that website. So please take that survey if you hadn't. Again, there's the interactive map. I know I talked about that last month where you can drop a pin.
That's Phil's favorite.
It's fun.
Also,
I did the interactive budget stuff. Hey, there we go. The finance.
That's pretty sad. The rec department right now has a deep dive into their programming. So they have a survey on mountlebanon.org. So if you've ever taken a class or a program at Mount Lebanon Rec Department, especially if you could get that out to your friends.
Yeah.
That's the demo that we are really desperately trying to get. They're not very excited to fill out surveys, but it's really important that the younger people weigh in on those. And even if you haven't taken a class before, maybe say why, maybe say what you're looking for that we're not offering. So that will really help the rec department. Finally, the police chief search is winding down. There were 2 finalist candidates. The municipality had a candidates forum a week ago today. The public had the opportunity to ask questions and then give their assessments to the municipal manager. He is formulating his final decision, which he will make, and then the commission will ratify that at their meeting on October 25th, the regular commission meeting. So So cross your fingers. It's been a very, very long process. If you remember, Aaron retired in May. So it was a national search. It was very, very intense search process using GovHR, a national search firm. So cross our fingers that that is done and we're ready to move on. So that's all.
Okay. Great. All right, continuing business, historic signage. Any update there?
Yeah, I talked to Rudy and Laura has the map to give to Rudy. And I've sent the spreadsheet to Rudy. So he has that. I did have to confess to him that I have really old software because, you know, like when you're retired, you don't have to update it.
Yeah,
So,
right.
right? Who pays for that? So he said, nah, no problem. I can fix that. I mean, he seemed a little bit fuddled about exactly where they were in the process because somebody else in his department is really doing it. It's really, he said something, I've talked to Laura, but
Yeah.
you know,
What we're waiting for is we were waiting for 2 sample signs.
Yes, 2 sample
We're gonna
signs.
put one on a long sign and one on a short sign
sign.
and make sure that the guys, and I say that because they are all guys, I'm not being sexist. The guys will put them
Yeah.
on and make sure there's no installation issues before we put in the big order.
Yeah.
And spend the big.
That's what he said to me. He said, we've got to see if we have to modify it or not.
Yep.
So we're caught up and we're just waiting for that to happen. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Brick streets, no real update at this point on brick streets. Commission is proceeding, but it's all a matter of money when it comes right down to it. It really
Yeah,
is.
and we find out the agenda for each of the budget sessions. I'll be sure.
Yeah.
Laura, help me remind me. Yeah, send it out to everybody. Tune in for that one.
Okay, good. For public education initiative.
Okay, so Krista and I interfaced with the historic group.
Historical Society.
Thank you. That one.
That group.
The Historical Society, and now I didn't bring her name, Alyssa, and I can't remember her last name, I apologize. She's on their board, has volunteered to be on the committee. So she and I have,
Nice.
yeah, I think that's going to be great. Now, I have a question for you guys. So I went through and have read everything that happened at the last seminar that we had for the public. And it really was about the value of having historic districts and historic places and how, you know, your town is so defined by a lot of that history. And it was sort of making the, not sort of, it made the case for why we should value our history. Going forward, I want your opinions on, do we want to try to engage the public in sort of a mini, almost like a mini, not a trade show, that's the wrong word, but a mini fair where they can kind of get an idea of different products, different things that are out there that can help them retain the historic character of their home. I'll give you an example in a minute. Or do we want to go further with things like design guidelines and explaining how those work and give them a class in that? What are you thinking? Or do we combine the two? So when I was talking about products, for example, there's somebody in my neighborhood who has one of those red roll clay roofs. Yes. You know what I mean? They're wonderful. They are absolutely impossible to replace in any financial way. I mean, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I happened to know her and she asked me and I said, you should look at a metal roof because you can get a metal roof that's going to look exactly like it and you'll retain the character of your house. It's a different material, it's cheaper, and it lasts forever. So those kind of hints are the kind of things you can do. I mean, we could do kind of a combo of both.
And I'll just like throw it out there.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm concerned about is if we're having people come, the public might feel they're being sold to.
If
Have
you do that,
trades people there. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. It's just the first thing that came to my head.
Yeah, how do you decide who is that person?
you know what?
And you might have 5 in this community who want to be the rep.
Yeah,
Yes, that's my concern. Maybe
you could use architects. You could have architects speak on, you know, what the different products are, what different types of products, for example. I didn't say to this person, here's a metal roof you should buy. I just said, look, here's a picture. That's how this works.
That's a great compromise,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
because you're right, people need to know what the options are.
Yeah, what the options are.
The other thing I can offer you is our inspections department could also participate in that, talking about the permitting process.
Oh, good.
That would be great.
I think that would be great,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yes. And I think the architects are a great idea because they know the range of options. They know
They
the
do.
products that are out there.
And I think if we have them, we should probably have, you know, not just material options, but have them go through the guidelines. Those guidelines are online. Anybody can see them. But I have a feeling nobody knows they're there.
That's all.
You saw, well, you and I do that stuff. Of course we saw them. Of course we know they're on there, but not everybody else does.
You probably
Okay.
know a lot of architects, Ann. But
All of them.
yeah, you know Dan Rothschild.
Yeah, I know Dan very well.
Yeah, okay.
Dan, they're very good friends.
He would be a great one. Oh, yeah, our children were really good friends. And they were
Were they? Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah, he would be good. There's another fellow on the south side, although we may want to stick with Mount Lebanon.
That's what I was thinking. But
Peter Margotai's good. He's a, you could have a couple different too, because Dan doesn't do very much residential.
exactly.
So you want some residential architects.
My husband works for Architectural Innovations.
Does he?
Yeah, he does their marketing and stuff. So if I could have him ask his boss if she wants to come. If that's something you want.
Sure.
The other thing that this board did, and it's also online, and is a frequent question that we get, is how to choose a contractor. There is kind of like a checklist, but really people want to know. First of all, they want a recommendation, and we can't give it, and you can't give it because we cannot
Right.
send people to private sector stuff. But they want to know, well, how do I know when somebody tells me they are historically sensitive that they are? What kind of questions should I be asking them? What kind of references should I be seeking? Right. So
We can
and again,
also-
that document is online, but it's also, you know, things change too. So
It's good to talk about it and have it, just, you know, present it to people. So they retain the information a lot better that way.
We can also pull all the information on how to choose an architect.
Mm-hmm.
If I know somebody who has all that stuff.
love that.
Yeah, it's great. Do you think of any others? Material options, design guidelines, it looks good. Okay,
Yeah, I
we have
think
an
that's-
outline.
I think that's a good idea. I think sort of combining the two,
Yeah.
just giving people the information they need, because there are people
Right.
who we know want to do something, just don't know how to do it, they don't
Right.
know where to start, right?
Mhm.
So just having somebody to talk to can really help them to
Good.
proceed and preserve their properties. That's an
Mhm.
excellent.
Wonderful.
Okay, liaison reports, comprehensive plan. Well, we're having our first meeting coming up. Now it's gonna fill in for me, so that's great. We have anything from Matt on the economic development?
He's in Europe living the good life. Hey, there's Rome.
Lucky
He's
duck.
like truly on vacation.
What work can we give him? What can we assign Matt as a punishment for?
I know, right? If you're not here, your new job
Yes.
is to go to all the commission budget meetings.
That's right. That's right. He's gonna be note taker. Report back.
Right.
Okay, Historical Society. We don't have a report, but we do have the Historical
We do have
Society.
the
on board
Historical
with our
Society on board
recommendation.
for this, so
That's
that's, I think,
excellent.
really important.
That's a good approach.
Yeah, they have a really good exhibit right now that I have not been up to see, but I want to. It's about how Mount Lebanon was shaped, why it's the shape it is. Looks
that's
very
awesome.
interesting.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah,
I know, doesn't it?
that sounds really good.
I know. It's only open.
Like, I want to know why they didn't include some of the commercial districts like Mount Lebanon Boulevard. Why isn't that Mount Lebanon? That's cash.
It was ours, we gave it away.
Mhm.
True.
Yep.
So crazy. Okay, just wondering.
We just wondering, since we don't want commercial districts, that was the thing.
Interesting. Well, I'll be looking forward to the Historical Society.
It wouldn't have that billboard there for ours. Okay, just, sorry, I'm gonna try to be good.
Good try.
Yeah, good try, right?
Okay, planning board.
Planning board, there was no meeting in September. They had no applications submitted. I did want to ask you in particular, Anne, you talked about introducing or suggesting to use better materials on the exterior. Do you have anything specific I could ask for? I know that they had talked about siding.
It should be hardy board.
There you go. What was that called again?
It's It's James Hardy, HARDEE board. It is, it's actually a concrete product, but it can be done, I have it on my house, of course, but it can be done in any way you want. You can have it, you know, running up and down this way. You can do shingles. You can have it run this way like you would vinyl siding, but it's got the highest R value. And R value means how it keeps insulates a house. So it has the highest insulation value. So when we put it up, when we replaced our siding and put it up, we didn't have to add insulation behind that because there wasn't any point to it. Great. So we had so much. And it lasts, it has a 30-year guarantee, and it can be painted, which is also really good. So that's those.
And is it much more expensive than siding, vinyl siding?
It's more expensive than vinyl siding, but there's very little of it on those houses.
Yeah, it's very small amount.
It's a very small amount. Yeah.
Okay.
I would also ask about the roofs. You know what they are. There are just a couple different things, you know, that I thought could really
please keep it coming. Keep it coming.
I mean, I sometimes think that sometimes when people are complaining, it's because they feel like it doesn't look like the older homes made to the same quality, and that's a legitimate concern. I mean, you only have a bully pulpit as the planning board, but you do have a bully pulpit.
That's it.
And it works oftentimes.
Well, I'll email. Ian, just say the board wanted you to consider. What's that? Okay. All right, so that's it. No report, but I'll be going to the meeting tomorrow night.
Okay, great, thank you.
Partnership Design Committee hasn't met.
I haven't met either.
No.
But it's a quick meeting.
I know, right?
How efficient we are this evening. But we have a lot of things sort of in holding patterns right now, so.
I know.
Which is okay. That's just the way it is. All right. Is there anything else anyone has for the order?
No, but next month when you meet, you might want to consider, traditionally this board has not had a meeting in December because it's the third Monday of December, which puts you in the week of Christmas. We had it last year because nobody went anywhere, or maybe it was 2 years ago because everybody was on lockdown. And everybody was on Zoom. But now that everybody's traveling and stuff again, just because if you know for a fact you don't want to have it or you're not able to get a form, I can advertise that and then we get that out there. You also can decide last minute, it's up to you, but I'm just throwing that out there for maybe something to talk about in November.
Right.
And that doesn't mean if you have committee business that you want to talk about with this education event, the committee could certainly meet in December anytime they want.
Right.
So, but you just wouldn't necessarily.
We'll meet over wine.
Sorry.
I like that idea.
Now you want to be on the committee, right?
Great. If that's it, then I will ask for a call for adjournment.
Adjourn. So moved.
So moved. All right. I think that passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Great.
Thank you all. Sorry I couldn't be there in person. I have a 7 o'clock and I just couldn't make my day work, like to be gone quite so long at one state.
Sure. Totally understand.
I'll be back.
Thank you in the big picture.
Bye.
Bye.